Hello, my name is Alejandro Gonzalez, and this is Lab 3-5. We will be working with the Dillard store data. Um, okay, so to start, we are going to create another dummy column. So we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to go over here to this S, and we're going to label it Dillard, DLRD hyphen dummy. Okay. And now we are going to, just like how we did with the Arkansas dummy and the online dummy, we're going to include a formula in there. Um, so if it has a value of 1, then that means that we used a Dillard's credit card, and if it's a 0, that means no credit card from Dillard's was used. So we're going to go ahead and put that formula in. For the value, if it's true, we're going to put the 1. If parentheses, open bracket, tender type. Okay, I think this is, so I think this one needs to be like this. There we go. Okay, so yeah, so we do have this 1 if the value is true, and then if the value is false, then we're gonna go ahead and give it a 0. Parentheses, and then we're just gonna press enter. We're gonna wait for that to load. Okay, perfect. So, as you can see, the tender type, we can see this DLRD, which is for the Dillards. It has a 1, so we know that it's working well. We can go ahead and move on to the next portion of the assignment. Okay, so now for this next step, what we're going to do is we're going to run the regression, kind of like how we did with the Arkansas and the online dummy ones. So for that, we're going to go over here to data, and then we're going to go to data analysis. And so what we want is regression for the analysis tool. Okay. Okay. And then for the Y range, it's what we've been using. So it's going to be the transaction amount. Okay. And then for this input X range, that's not what I wanted to do. We're just going to go up. And what we want is, we want this, in the previous one, we were using Arkansas, and then we used Arkansas and online. So now we're going to use Arkansas, online, and Dillard's, all the dummy ones. So we're going to highlight all of them and then Control Shift down. Perfect. So we have everything we need in here. We just want to double check that for the Y and the X range, we started at 2, not 1, so we don't include the headers in there. And then we wanted to go to a new worksheet. After that, we can go ahead and press OK. Okay, and then now we can go ahead and look at our summary output. So let's try to now explain what exactly is happening here. So first I'm going to expand on these. Control J, just highlight these. Okay, there you go. Now we can see it better. So from our summary output, we can look at the coefficient. That is what's going to tell us the most information. So for our x variable 1, that is going to be the dummies that we were using earlier. So whether or not it was in Arkansas, whether or not it was online or in person. And so we see that just like how in the previous lab, on average, people were spending more in the state of Arkansas, a lot more when they were shopping online. But now we see a difference in the coefficients in that in the x variable 3, the new one we added, um, which is where we were looking at it if they were using a dealer's credit card or not. On average, people actually spent um, less than if they were using another form of payments, which is pretty interesting. So we can see that people in marketing would be able to use this to further predict and look at maybe why they're not spending um, as much money on their credit card. And so we can prove this by looking at the p-values. And so we see that these are extremely, extremely, very, very, very small numbers. And so it checks out that it makes sense. Um, and yeah, so we see that we can compare all the three variables, and um, it's interesting that when you look at individual stuff like that, individual variables, it changes. And when you use a credit card at Dillard's, you actually spend on average $2 less. So with that, that completes lab 3-5. Thank you very much.